So I would say that if you're starting out on buying things, don't buy everything in one go. You have to combine the whole vibe of everybody's personality into your home decor. It's a balancing act, you know. A lot of people say it's a good setup, it's a nice setup, but a house should never be a setup. It should be a place which should be exactly like that.
Hi guys, so we are doing a really interesting live today with Less is More and Pooja of Less is More, and I've got a whole bunch of questions because always the big debate is that how do you do up your home without buying more? And you know, we see all these lovely pictures on Instagram and it's so overwhelming sometimes, and you feel like मुझे ये भी खरीदना है, ये भी खरीदना है, ये भी खरीदना है, and then you're like okay, you know, I've really overspent on my budget, but you still want your house to look as gorgeous as what they show on Instagram. So today we're chatting with Pooja of Less is More, and she's going to really share with us how you can really give your home a super makeover, but on a budget. Okay, now this is my biggest confusion on Instagram. I see such amazing picture that all of you guys put in, and then I go on a shopping spree and try to make my house look like that. I don't know, guys. किसी और के साथ ये होता है, then please just show us some hearts or show of hands. That do you get like massive amount of anxiety looking at these perfect, pristine images and start shopping and start asking in the comments, where have you got this from? Where have you got this from? And then, okay, see, there you go. You can see the hearts as witness. And then we start feeling like, okay, I want to buy that. But when it comes together, I can't seem to put that together the way you put it. So what's the starting point for anybody who's looking at any of our feeds and saying this is how my house should look?
You know, Mansi, I think the starting point is to look at yourself and see what you want, what is your style, you know. And you yourself is not alone living in the house. So you have to look at everybody around the house. If you have children, if you have elders, you have to combine the whole vibe of everybody's personality into your home decor. It's a balancing act, you know, and there are so many kinds of styles available on Instagram. People are doing modern, they're doing contemporary, traditional, but you have to first look at, see, everybody owns certain pieces. A lot of people, you know, take down things from their mothers and the in-laws. So if there's some things, you know, just take, say, 5 things on your hand. If there are those 5 things around you, look at those things, and then you have to weave around your house around those things. So if those things are traditional and you have a liking and inclination towards traditional stuff, something which is, you know, then you can do your work with a lot of woodwork, you can work around traditional paintings and things like that. But if you have inclination and if your major elements of decor or interiors in the house are you know, modern, and you like cleaner lines, you like straight lines, then you should work around, you know, having more wides and more space. But I think today we all live in smaller houses. At the end of the day, it's very important to maintain a balance between, it doesn't matter what style you have, but you have to have comfort. At the end of the day, it has to be livable and, you know, comfortable for everybody around the house. And I think
comfort ke saath also functionality, right? Because sometimes I see people have so much, like, you know, it's very disillusioning and you know, very confusing, because see, I'm not a decor sort of person, but yes, I hear you when you say these are the 5 pieces. And when you say 5 pieces, do you go by 5 pieces in a room or 5 pieces in a house?
5 pieces, I would say, in totality, because those 5 things will give you an idea about what style of things you would like to have. This is for people who are just starting out. This is for people probably, you know, newly married people, or someone who has just moved into a house. Maybe can be a person who's not married as well and wants to set up a house beautifully. So you have to work out certain things. So few elements might look very less, but they can very well cozy up a house. Like if you see behind me, I just have my couch and a throw and, you know, just a single whimsy light, but it kind of gives a very cozy feel. So it's not about having too many elements around, but what is important is to just work for few things which really make you happy. So if you know, just lights work for you or plants work for you, go with that and then build up your home according to those elements.
Diwali is a time when we all look at decluttering and cleaning up. Can you give us 5 tips for a festive yet minimalist look? like without going overboard on buying things. You know, the other day I posted on my personal Instagram, which was,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
a desk, which was like a desk with so many things. Like it looked perfect for Instagram, but I just felt like it was so overwhelming that you have 200 pictures, 10 plants, one desk. How do you work like that, right? Like I just
No,
like
it
a
doesn't
clean.
work, you know. I'm sorry. A lot
Yeah,
of times, you know, it's very important that the space, you know, a lot of people say it's a good setup, it's a nice setup, but a house should never be a setup. It should be a
yeah,
place which should be exactly like that. If I have to show you how my dining table looks, it, you
right,
know, there's a notebook that I have, and I just have this little Diwali vignette here with some brass stuff and a mirror put inside a basket with some flowers, and
right,
the rest of my table is empty. There are times
right,
when my son comes and jumps up on the table, so I have to give that liberty to him to be able to do that. So if
right,
I have too many things put across everywhere in the house, the functionality of the things in my home just dwindles, which I don't want to do. So to bring in any occasion, to bring in any season, just do it very minimally. I would say pick a few elements that relate to that occasion. So if you talk about autumn, then you pick up certain autumnish elements. Here, if you're talking about festive, work with things like, you know, gold works really well. So if you have a muted house, if you have white walls, gold works very well against white. So you can have throw in some pillows with a splash of gold. You can, you know, put in these kind of trays and knickknacks. I have made these with my daughter. Basically,
yeah,
air dry clay that comes the Fevicryl clay. So I
yeah,
made these small trays with my daughter. These are beautiful DIYs that we can do with them. These can, if you put a hole here, can work as small mini planters also. And
wow,
these look beautiful if you just put them around in places. If I'll just show you. See, I have put them here near my, on my lamp.
yeah.
So just little things like something here. I have a shrunk here and a little planter.
I love the planter. Is it scribblers on the net? Is it that?
No, I just recently got it from a girl from Imphal. She's been dispatching it. I'll let you know on. I still
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah. So
post
I've
a thing
actually
on the
ordered
feed.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I still have to post it on the feed.
yeah, it's a lovely initiative. I think it's great. So when you are saying that people are actually cleaning up during Diwali, what would you say would be the top two or three things that people should
I think
actually?
it's important. It's important to you go inside out. You have to first clear out everything on the insides. Go from the drawers, from the cupboards, from the places, and you'll be surprised to find things that you really, you know, you'll think that, oh, I really had that, and I can actually incorporate it in my decor. So you have to go inside out. That's one thing. Then go one by one. You just can't clean up everything, clear up everything in one go. You have to take rooms, then you have to take living, you have to take kitchen and balconies. Third, I would say move around your plants, because moving the plants will actually breathe in new space into the, you know, the similar location. So if you have a money plant somewhere, like I had a syngonium, I had a plague plant here, but
Yeah,
I recently moved my money plant here in this location. So and
right,
just added a single light. So it's
right,
giving it a very fresh feel to the whole living room.
right,
Third,
right,
I would say is, you know, don't forget to clean your walls, because what we all do is we clean up the whole house, but we leave the walls. I have a system of cleaning my walls at least thrice a year. So they get cleaned top to bottom thrice a year, completely washed down, which really brighten up the whole house. Fourth
right,
will be, you know, has low light in it, then, you know, it would be a good option to kind of give it a new color. Go with one shade. I would say go with off white. And then if you are a lover of colors, then, you know, put splashes of color in your decor. So interiors, I would say, to this two part to home decor. One is interiors, another is decor and accessorization. So your interiors can be muted, they can be minimal, they can be simple, clean lines, and then you play around with accessories that, you know, bring out the color, the vintage, the different kinds of elements, which can probably change from season to season. So I
right,
would say that if it's Diwali, then if you already have a traditional home, then you can change the current setup. Changing that also makes a lot of difference. So move around your couches, tables from here and there, and you will have a complete new.
How do you keep things functional and looking good? Like the struggle is, like when I see a lot of homes, I feel like itna sara add kiya hai, but like where's the functionality to that piece? Like I'm always thinking, how is this piece functional in my house, right? So how important is functionality when you pick and choose pieces?
See, functionality will come with, if you have to really think hard in terms of, I would say that if you're starting out on buying things, don't buy everything in one go. You have to, when we moved into this house, I bought very few things, and then I went about seeing all the houses below and above. I don't have any house above me, but I went about seeing all the houses below me and checking out what kind of a storage solutions they have worked out in the house, since the house is small. So then I had a look at everyone, and then I put everything together in my mind, and then I worked out what kind of a storage I want, where I want it. So you have to go very slow by in terms of buying things. And also functionality, yes, you can deck up a particular space, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't give you the kind of storage that you're looking at, because having children around, I have a lot of toys, but at the same time I have to balance by decluttering and purging continuously. If I don't declutter in a particular month, the next month my house is a mess. So that also goes in tandem with what you have on hand. So you cannot just keep buying things, and it has to be a 2 out and 1 in process. So you can bring in one thing, one toy for a child, and let go of two. And that's how the functionality comes about, because we all have storages. Be a little do a lot of research, I think I would suggest that. And small places can be converted into beautiful looking storage spaces. So go with that, try to create spaces. See, in my living room I don't have too much of a storage, but what we did is to keep all my this looks like a shoe rack, but it's actually not a shoe rack. I use just 2 shelves under it for some shoes of my children. But otherwise, this whole shoe rack is things that I use for my shoot, for my feed. So because then that's how you have to, make.
Yeah, I think one of the very important things, and this is also what Gayatri mentioned when we did the live with her, and what she also mentions in the course, is like if you find a space for something, it'll never be out of space. Then you'll not have to keep decluttering again. So it reminded me when you said that you have a space for all your shoot stuff together, because it's organized, it has a dedicated space of its own. That's why it doesn't go out of space.
I also go keep this in its home. So if it has a home, then it will never be decluttered.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have a home, which means it's excess, which means you have to think about it.
True.
You either think of where to keep it. If you don't have a space, then it has to go.
Right. No, I agree. I think that's such a brilliant way of looking at things. We've got somebody who's asked ways to maintain wallpaper, like how to clean, etc.
See, I have wallpaper in my house only in one place in my bedroom, which I recently got. I just clean it once with a dry cloth, and then once in a while, say once in 2 months, with a very, 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 very little wet cloth. So I have done it once or twice and it remains fine.
Somebody's asked, how do you create a cozy corner?
I think cozy corner, you would need a good light. Go with the light source. Have a lampshade. You can have a standing lamp or a corner lamp like this, or you can have a small lamp. And add in some fairy lights, add a candle, add a planter, a cushion and a throw, and I think you're good to go in any place.
Pooja, thank you so much. I absolutely love your feed, and thank you for sharing your house with us today. And there's so many key takeaways for each one of us.
Thank you, Mansi. Thank you for the opportunity.